Hi guys, welcome back to Young and Unscripted. So today we are doing a session called What's Your Opinion? So we have loads of dilemmas, loads of questions, just loads of life topics that we're going to give you our opinion on. We're not saying they're right. They're not necessarily
they're
the
definitely,
right ones.
we're not experts, but we're just saying what we would think of it. And we want to know what you guys think of them as well. You know?
So let's get into it.
What's your opinion on if you wanted to, you would?
I really agree with it.
Same.
Yeah,
Same, girl.
I feel like we've seen it. We know, I don't know, I think it's right for men and women as well. Like, it's not just saying if men wanted to, they would. I think it's the same with women.
Yeah, if you like someone, you'll show that energy.
And I think it is just, if you like someone, you will do anything for them. You will want to make them feel special. You want to spend time with them. Whereas if...
You're not going to be so lazy with it because they're going to be on your mind a lot,
exactly.
right? Yeah.
Whereas if you kind of like someone, I don't know, then I feel like you're less likely to move the world for them because you're just not as bothered.
Because you're not thinking about them all the time.
Yeah.
I honestly do feel like people show themselves in their actions, right? Someone can say a lot of stuff, but it's like what they do. Like if they're showing, you know, they want to see you and stuff like that. So, I think so.
I agree with it. And I just feel like
it just makes sense. Like that's what we all do as humans. Like even friends, like, you know, a closer friend, like, you know,
you're going to make more effort.
You just will, right? Like, compared to someone you don't really know or like, I think so.
No, 100%.
Do you believe in second chances?
Yes, I do. Because I think we're all human and we all make mistakes. Yeah. However, what I will say is, what is this second chance for?
You're good at second chances. You are. Same, to be honest. I'm a very second chance.
Yeah, I think I'm a forgiver and I understand that people make mistakes. And if you're willing to make up that mistake, then fine. And if you're willing to put in the effort, but it just depends what you did. There's some things I'm like,
a second chance type of person, but there's some things for me like you've clearly just shown me. Like,
What are those things?
I think like things like cheating.
Oh my gosh, sorry. If you cheat on me, get out. Like actually get out.
I don't know for me. That's just like a no.
Do you know why?
In terms of like other stuff, like I can really understand things.
Yeah. I feel like, especially for cheating, the problem is the loss of trust.
Your relationship will never be the same. It will
never be the same. And you'll always have that thought in the back of your head. And I just don't think that's fair for either of you to be in a relationship where you're, you know, second guessing each other and not trusting each other. I just think if you cheat, you made your bed.
That's done. Yeah. But like other things, like I don't know, what other things would you like give a second chance for?
Well, I just think, I don't know.
It's hard to...
Yeah, because again, it's situational. It depends. Yeah. But I do think that people are worthy of second chances. Like I make mistakes.
I mess up for sure. And like if nobody give me a second chance. So I think within reason, as long as it's not like a thing that's really affecting you. No. Then, you know, second chances. Okay. Your best friend is dating someone you don't like. Do you tell them?
Ooh.
No, I wouldn't.
You know what? It depends why I don't like them.
I was gonna say, if it's just like,
you just don't vibe with them. But it's like it's not your...
If it's like, they're seeming a bit like, I don't like your energy, like you're a bad person. Yeah. Okay, yeah.
I'm going to tell you.
They're going to treat your friend badly.
Yeah. Okay, but if it's just like you personally can't vibe with them, I personally just don't think that's your place to say. Because I like... whoever you vibe with could be different to who someone else vibes 100%, with. Yeah. So I feel like if it's off of vibes, then no. But if it's something concrete that you're like, no, like they've done this, I don't like them for this, and I can... Oh, you know what? If you come at it from a perspective of, hey, listen, like, you know, I really care about you. You're my best friend. I just want to voice my opinion. Not saying you have to take it, but I just want to voice it just so you know. Yeah. Well, it's like when people will be like, I'd be a bad friend if I didn't tell you.
Like, you kind of have to. But I think if it's just a bit like,
that's not your vibe.
Then I don't know if that's your place to say.
No.
But I think if it's immediate red flags and stuff and you're worried about your friend, please tell them.
And
they need to know.
I think also, you won't see their partner in the same way that they see them, in terms of you'll see them for like 10% of the time, not even that.
You see a lot of a different side to someone,
so you don't see the rest of it, and so it's not really fair to judge on something 1% about.
Yeah, and you're like, actually, like, I know this, so they know a lot of a different side to them. So
Okay, so someone sent us a social media one. I love creating, but I feel like I'm trapped in a cycle of having to post constantly just to stay relevant. If I take a break, I lose engagement. If I keep going, I'll burn out. How do I balance my creativity without losing my audience? I get that.
That's a hard one. Like, because like, you know, from even like posting a little bit, you can see how like, I was like, remember when we were in LA, I was like, imagine actually influencers, like, obviously there's harder jobs, but like you do have to constantly be in and out, like be taking photos like all the time. It can be draining. Like to get content every day, content out every day is a lot.
Especially when you don't feel like your best self. Like as you said, you have to constantly just be out and be ready for the camera.
And be, you know, smiling life is great, basically. Yeah. That is social media. That is what it is.
Yeah. And sometimes you don't want to be like that.
Yeah.
And
every day, can you imagine?
Like that's really intense.
Even to keep your life entertaining enough. Like this person sounds like they're maybe starting out and just started to grow and stuff.
Well, because this trapped in a cycle of having to post constantly just to stay relevant. Yeah,
it is that thing of relevancy. Like it goes like that, doesn't it? And I feel like if you're onto something, you kind of do need to keep it going. Yeah. To this person, I think I would say one, like obviously prioritize your mental health. Like if it's really draining, I think we can do a balance, because I wouldn't tell you to just like take a long break, because being realistic, if you are onto something, like I wouldn't want you to regret losing that.
No, exactly.
So I wouldn't be like, oh, just take months off, because like I don't know if that will make you happy. If you really need it, obviously, but like I think maybe do a thing where like you don't have to be posting as like frequently, maybe every day. Just do it more, like just find a bit more of a balance, maybe. I don't know. What would you say?
I would say, I think every day's really intense.
Yeah.
I think if you stick to maybe 3-4 times a week, which is still a lot.
Yeah, but like make sure in between, maybe a day when you're not creating content, do not take a picture.
Yeah.
Like don't think, oh, I can do a little bit, just genuinely take the day off.
And maybe then if you're struggling to do it every day because, you know, things are going on, life's busy.
Yeah.
Why don't you have content days?
That's
and
such
then
a good idea.
On that day, just bring loads of outfit. Well, obviously we don't know what the content is. It might not be to do with clothes. But whatever that content is, if you're doing makeup brand stuff, film loads of looks. Or if you're doing fashion, film loads of outfits and just shoot loads on that day, and then you have your content for the week, and then you essentially just have to film for one day depending on how you like to structure your thing, but then you have one day where you can just completely do it, and then
it's a lot more manageable rather than getting it every day. That's so true.
And then I feel like you won't have that burnout because you have that one day which is really dedicated to that, and then everything else you can just choose what you need to do and what you want to do. And you know, if you feel like you can film more, great. If you can't,
100%.
That's fine.
No, I agree.
I just really believe in listening to your body and listening to your mind, because there are so many times where I will get home and I feel like I need a nap, and then I will feel, after I wake up from the nap, I will be so disappointed in myself. But I feel like you have to also understand that you are tired, and if you didn't listen to your body and if you didn't listen to your mind, then you will have that burnout and you won't be able to keep on going. So you just gotta listen to yourself when you need it, because otherwise it will be too late.
No, 100%. Like you have to take that rest. I learned something. I saw this video on TikTok the other day, and it said, so there's fear and faith. So replace all fear with faith, because they both don't exist yet. So both of them are basically you thinking of an idea that doesn't exist. Yeah. So why not, instead of like fear that you're going to lose all those followers, be like, I have faith in myself. I have faith in my brand, you know, my niche, whatever I bring to whatever your content is. Yeah. Like it's going to be okay. Because I think when we act out of fear and you're like, I just have to like create loads, then you start to panic. Yeah. It all goes a bit crazy. But just like have faith in what you do the content days and make it's all going to be manageable. Yeah. And you're going to be amazing. I completely agree with that. Faith is a great one. Yeah. Okay, next one. I started out in the industry with my best friend and we used to support each other. But now that we're both gaining success, it feels like everything is a competition. I don't want to lose our friendship, but I also don't want to dim my own shine. How do I handle this? That's difficult, isn't it?
That's really difficult. And you know what? I was actually talking about this, it was about, you know, Ariana Grande and, is it Janet McCurdy? You know,
yes,
Sam and
Janet
Kat?
McCurdy, yeah.
And in her book, she talks about how this was when Ariana was taking off in the pop world, and she would go and perform in loads of award shows and, you know, be performing on a Saturday and then come to set on the Monday. And Jeanette would say she felt really jealous, but she didn't even want to be a singer, a pop star. But it's just, you do, if your peer group, if they're going on to do amazing things and you both started off together.
I was about to say, when you start in the same place.
You start to think, oh, what have I done wrong? Like, how am I not reaching what they're reaching? But you do just have to understand that everybody's on their own journey.
You are on your own path.
And you just, I feel like you do have to just support your friends, you know, in that, like, they're doing amazing things and that's great, and your time will come. And, you know, a main thing is that you have to grow with your peer group. So if your friends are doing well, the more opportunities they get kind of means that you're going to get more opportunities. You're all going to be
successful together. I think it's like, I think it's a natural thing, because I get what you're saying. At the beginning, it's very easy, right, to just support each other, because you're all like your best friends. You're all starting out saying, oh yeah, we got this. And then I guess when, like you said, people's journeys do have different timelines, I feel like that's when it starts to get different. But like, you just have to trust in your own timeline. And like, you know, we always say someone else's success is not an absence of your own, like, not at all. Like, you are just different people with different journeys, meant for different things. Like, it wouldn't make sense if like everything you got was the same. Like, that would be weird. Like,
well, also, I saw this thing where it was actually on TikTok and it was like a slideshow. It was all like situational. It wasn't necessarily fact, but there could be a CEO at 25. Everybody else in the peer group feels... I
saw you repost this one.
I thought it was brilliant. Someone becomes a CEO at 25. The rest of the peer group, you know, you're just feeling a bit maybe inadequate. Like you haven't made up for that. But then that same CEO could die at 50. And then you could make your success at 45 and live to 90. So, you know, it all is situational when everybody has a path and everybody has a journey, and it's all laid out for them due to their time and what they have and what they can achieve on this earth. So just because someone's doing better than you right now doesn't mean that later on down the line you won't reach the same heights.
I think it literally all comes with being comfortable with yourself in your own journey. But I know the creative industry is so unreliable, so you can get into that mindset of like, am I ever going to do something? But you will, like, everyone, like, and like you said, you should use, I think you said this once, was it you who said like, or I can't remember if it was you or Panya, but you said like, somebody else's success just shows to you, you can do it. Like, and it's in fact, like, so your friend has like got so much success. That means, like you said, you're all going to be successful. Like, it is possible, you know? Like, it's a positive thing.
And I think we always say that all the time. Like, it's so nice.
Like, I feel like a win for you is like a win for all of us. You know what I mean? It's like, oh, it's just good to see. And you have to see it in that way.
Yeah, and it proves, as you said, like, it proves that it's achievable. And I think we said that when we originally like joined drama school together, and, you know, like, people in our class, and like even when we had Issa on the podcast, you know, like, that was
love to see that.
Yeah, like, it's like, oh my gosh, like, Issa's doing it. So that, not that it means, oh yeah, I could do it because Issa, not like that, but because like, if he's doing, like, I was like, wow, like, you're amazing, you're doing this, we can all do it. Whereas sometimes, you know, you see like the Viola Davis, you see, and you're like, it's just so far-fetched from who we, like, where we're at.
It's like,
so it's like, okay, yeah, we can get there, but it's going to take time. But when you see people in your peer group, in your friend group, and in your class that are achieving great things, you're like, oh, okay, I can do this. I just got to put the work in.
Yeah, like, when I look at like all our friends in class, I'm like, we're all going to do it.
Yeah.
We all are. Like, and I'm just excited
to
for that.
See, yeah,
you know what I mean? And all maybe, you know, different timelines, but yeah.
No, for sure.
But I think with you and your friend, both doing successful. So let's be happy in that. Like, it's not about who gets the next opportunity. Like, we've both got success.
Are getting opportunities,
so all you can do, I would say, you can't control the other person. If she's still going to see it's a competition, that's kind of her. But I think what you can do is change your own perspective, right?
Yeah.
And just,
I agree. What is your opinion on absence makes the heart grow fonder?
I think it's true, but it shouldn't be weaponized.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know. I think in this generation, we have a lot of like, okay, well, if I just kind of like, not ghost, but like, you know, nonchalant, like, kind of keep my distance, then like, he's going to really want me, or she's going to really want me.
Yeah.
Like, I don't think we need to be like, oh, I need to be like, not so available to be, because I think people sometimes do have this idea of like, I can't be too available to be loved, which is just
you can't seem
too
keen.
I think it's true. Like, when you do miss someone, obviously you do, like, when you're not with them, it makes you miss them and realize like, oh, like, they're such a big part of my life. Yeah. Like, sometimes it does take that to notice. But I think if you're in like a healthy thing, I don't think it should be like.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I feel like the whole idea of it kind of, and you know me, I love the whole idea of, I don't love idealized love, but that sounds crazy.
Who doesn't?
No, but you know, like how, I don't know, like I'm just very fascinated by idealized love.
Yeah.
And I feel like this, like absence comes from that, because when you're not seeing someone, you can only remember them and you can only have the memories of what it was.
Oh my gosh, of course.
Yeah. And so the whole time you're just romanticizing who this person is and almost kind of making them up.
Yeah.
Because it depends how long you haven't seen them for.
Yeah.
Obviously, if you haven't seen them in 2 days, that's a bit extreme. But like if someone's like, you know, I'm going away for 3 months or whatever, in that time, you are constructing this person of who you think they are from all of the little things that you know. You kind of put on those rose-tinted glasses and you make them up to be your perfect person.
Yeah.
And that's where I think absence in a way can be a little bit detrimental, because when that person returns, you're disappointed and they can't live up to that. And also that's unfair on them, because you know, then they can't live up to that. So I feel like it's a very interesting concept, because also I think it depends, because it is that memory. If you have a bad memory of someone, then obviously it's not going to grow fonder. But yeah, I think in all, like, yeah, absence does make the heart grow fonder because you miss them from your life. They're a part of your life. But I do think that sometimes it's a bit of a toxic concept, because of you can only remember them through their memory.
Yeah, I think if it takes someone having to leave your life for you to be that in love with them and see how great they are, like if you're only getting that then and not when you're with them,
I think there's something wrong.
I think that's a problem, because when you're actually with them, you didn't feel this way. So
no, I agree. So. I guess this was more one actually personal for us, but at what moment did you realize that life is short? If you felt that yet, you might not have felt that.
Yeah, I feel that a lot. Like, I don't know, there's a lot of things that make me realize. It's quite a deep question.
Yeah. It's intense.
What would you say? Like, what?
You know what? I don't know. I feel like, again, it's a really maybe random one, something that seemed insignificant, but something that feels a lot more significant now. But actually, when I turned 20, which I know is really, really random, but I think when I turned 16, when I turned 18, I never really felt any different. It was just another birthday. But there was something about 20 that felt very profound to me. And I think I was, again, on TikTok, as I always am, and it was just a random TikTok in passing, and someone just put, everyone, like, put your age and, like, double it by, like, double your age, and everyone put it in the comments. I was looking through the comments, and I was like, whoa, like, if I actually double my age, I'm 40, and then if I double that, it's 80, and, you know, most people live to 80. And I think at that moment, I started to realize I don't have that many more 20 years left in me.
No,
and the time from when I was born to 20, I don't know where that time went. Obviously, like, your childhood and stuff, you remember that. But obviously, it's just the school, the whole school situation for me just felt so quick. And now to think that school was something of the past, I
think after you leave school, life goes so quickly as well. Like,
100%.
How have I been out of school like a few years now?
Yeah.
Like, that feels like yesterday.
No, exactly. And that's when I was like, whoa, okay, life is short and I don't actually have that much time. I do have time left, like, but you know, we don't know.
No, but I know what you mean. And that's when you do have to kind of just appreciate every day. But it's sometimes hard to, like, actually do that, isn't it? But yeah, I think, life is short. I don't know. I think about it a lot. I think I'm just like, I don't know, but for me, time is moving so quickly at the moment.
And I'm actually, just like, wow. I really agree with you when you said when you leave school. Because these past few years that I've been out of school, I genuinely, last year, I don't know where it went. I don't know where it went. Like,
I think, so like, quick. When you're in school, for me, like, school felt long in terms of from year 7 to year, like, that's like, because you're always like,
yes, actually,
nothing's changing. But now, because in a year, like, I don't know, there's so much live happening. For me, it's just gone so quickly. Like, you know, when you're like, oh, there's year 7, then there's year 8, year 9, year 10. Like, I don't know.
It felt long. I think for me as well, the realization that next year, 2026,
just felt like the whole of your
will be 10 years since I started high school.
That's crazy, yeah.
What?
Honestly, it just feels like that's going to be forever. And then I always remember someone saying to me, like, you think your school is your everything. In terms of even small little drama, like in school, like it's massive in school, right? Because and then you leave it and you're like, that's just like a chapter of my life. Yeah. That was not everything. Like, in fact, there's only a small sector of when I was like a teenager. Yeah. Like, this is the rest of my life. I was like, whoa. Like,
it's crazy.
Yeah, I don't know. It's crazy.
It is. It's definitely...
It's exciting.
It's very exciting.
Here for a short, what's it? A good time, not a long time, I guess.
Yes, yeah. And really like here to make our mark. Do you think it's easier to forget or to forgive?
I think it's easier to forgive. Mm-hmm. Yeah, 100%. I've forgiven so many things in my life, but you don't forget them, right? Yeah. You can't forget them. It's very hard to make yourself forget something. Yeah. Like, if it's insignificant, yeah, you'll forget it. But if it's a significant thing in your life, you may bury it, but you will never forget it. Yeah. Whereas, like, forgiveness, but I don't know, I forgive everyone. Yeah, I don't know. There's no one I wouldn't forgive. Like, I just think, like, forgiveness is just, I don't know. It's not the easiest thing to do. I don't know. Forgiveness is easy for me. I'm not going to lie. But
yeah. I feel like it's a hard one because I feel like in terms of this, you can never forget. No. That, as you said, is something that stays with you. Yeah. Forgiveness, I feel like as time passes, you just realize you don't want to hold on to
I just don't hold grudges or hatred. Like, I just like... It doesn't serve you in any way. No. But then I guess it's hard to, like, how do you know if you've truly forgiven someone? Yes. Because I can say in my mind I've forgiven them, but like...
But yeah, and I feel like that's what this question maybe is. In terms of, like, obviously actually forgetting, you obviously can't actually physically forget that. But in terms of, you know what, let's just leave it. I'll forget it, but I'm never going to forgive you for this. Rather than actually erasing it from your mind.
Right. You know, like, okay. I was thinking you can't make yourself
like you can't make yourself, but like, you know, when you just be like, okay, fine, like let's just forget, let's move on. But
like for instance, if somebody did cheat or something, you're like, okay, we'll forget it. But like, it's like, can you actually forgive them? Yeah. I think it's hard to know if you've forgiven someone, but I just honestly, I choose not to hold hatred in my heart. Like, I just think
that's a good way to be.
Yeah. I don't know. For me, it's like not a hard thing to do. I just think like I really understand like there's just darkness. I don't know. There's just a lot in life. But I don't know. How about you?
Yeah, I agree. I think it's easier to forgive than forget because I feel like if you're forgiving, you're taking it upon yourself to understand. Yeah. And I think
you're very forgiving. Like I feel like you always understand from...
I feel like I always try to understand. I always want to give people the opportunity to explain themselves because I understand that what some things seem is not at all what it is. Like someone may do something, but their intention was never to hurt you.
It's true.
It just looks like it from that.
I think there's obviously like levels to it because I was thinking, you know, when like people like something happened to your child or something, like I feel like that's like a different level of this that is like different. But I think in terms of like things like that, I think like you said, you just have to understand.
I think it's about whether you're willing to understand where someone's come from. And sometimes, you know, there is no reason for it and you're just like, what? But for like most cases, I do think that forgiving is easier than forgetting because as you said, you will always remember it. But, and also I think it's healthier to forgive rather than to forget because if you're saying, I'll forget, are you
But you haven't forgiven them? Yeah. That's not giving healed. Like, no. I think if you actually forgive them, but like, you still remember it's in your, like, I think that's a lot healthier. Like, I don't know. Like, obviously, I think when people say forgive, but like, don't forget, I think they mean in terms of don't just keep forgiving someone and like, like, you know what I mean? And you're like, you should just, wait. What's the...
No, like, you have to... it's almost like give someone a second chance, but don't forget what they did to you.
Remember what they did to you and like, you know, just still store that. Because it's like, we can't just like, you can be a good person, but you can't just keep forgiving someone. Oh, no. Then that's just like not good to yourself. Like, I think, just forgive them. You know, it happened once, but if it keeps happening, you know, that person shouldn't be in your life. Yeah. But definitely try and lead with forgiveness, I think. Yeah. Like anger, honestly, and holding on to things, it just hurts you in the long run. Like they did what they did. Like, I think, I don't know.
Yeah, I think it comes to a point where you have to protect yourself and your energy. And the only way you're going to do that is if you choose to say, okay, it happened.
You cannot change it now.
I can't change it.
You cannot.
But I'm going to choose to move on. And, you know, and maybe it's like, I'm going to choose to remove you from my life because it's not healthy. Yeah. But I forgive you and let bygones be bygones.
Literally. I like that phrase. But I remember seeing someone like saying that holding on to things is like having an open wound and you just keep pouring stuff onto it. It's like you're just hurting yourself. Like, you know. But yeah, I mean, forgiveness, I'm sure it can be hard, like for different situations. But yeah, try to forgive, I think.
I think so as well. What are your opinions on long distance relationships?
I have no idea. I wouldn't want to be in one personally. Yeah. I think it's just very hard. But I know like there's different situations where people like really fall in love and then something happens and then they can make it work. And I don't know, but I wouldn't be looking to get into one. Yes. I don't think anyone is though. No,
I think it's so dependent on the person.
I feel like when someone lives so far.
Yeah. Like, well, this is the thing as well.
Say someone in Australia, I'm sorry, and I can't see you for 6 months.
No,
and
that's crazy.
I feel like it can be quite draining. Time difference. You're like, oh my gosh.
It's like, crazy.
I feel like that actually would take up more of your time and mind space because you just like, you know, you're not together and it's just driving you crazy. Yeah. I feel like, yeah, it depends on the distance.
Yeah, that's
and your
what I
guys'
was
situations. Like, if it's a type of thing where, like, maybe you can't keep affording flights and stuff, so you can't really see each other for months on end. Like, that's very hard. Isn't it?
I think it's as you said. Like, it depends on the distance. Like, are we talking Australia, America, or are we talking Manchester? Like,
insane.
They would sink. Because I think Manchester, I could do.
Yeah, you can see each once a week.
Yeah,
like you are definitely having to put in effort. Yeah. But like. You want to see that person, that's fine.
Yeah.
But I couldn't when it starts to get other countries, time differences, that just would... Yeah. I don't think I could do that. But you know what? In London, like, if somebody's... Like, me and you, we're not long distance, but... In London, when someone lives an hour and a half away, like, you can't really see them all the time. Like, I don't know.
Yeah.
Because it's still, like, quite long to get... It's not long distance, but you get what I'm saying?
Yeah, and I actually feel like it then means that when you see them, like even with friendships, it means that we always do something which is nice because obviously we live in different parts of London.
We're not coming to each other's houses as much.
Yeah. So it's like when we do something, it's nice, like we're, you know, going for dinner or like we're doing something and we're like, we actually have a plan.
I think it's different when, you know, some people like they've been together for 3 years and then somebody has a job opportunity and like, then I think you have more of a foundation. A new relationship, it's like,
oh no, a new
why does it already feel so like hard?
Yeah, like strenuous. Like, do I have time for that? Yeah, I think for now that's all of our
I want to continue this because I feel like there's a lot more we can cover.
There's a lot more to unpack.
Thanks to everyone who sent in questions, and we want to do a part 2. So like, please send in your dilemmas and any more questions. Okay.
See you next week, guys. Bye.